Okay guys, so we did promise you a recipe on our pre-cooked chicken. So today I'm going to be showing you one of the methods we can use to pre-cook our chicken. This method I'm going to use a marinade first, just to add a little bit of flavour, but it's not necessary. You don't have to do the marinade, you can go straight into pre-cooking the chicken. So what we've got. Today I've just done a small batch. I've got about 900 grams of chicken, about a cup of yogurt, 3 tablespoons of garlic paste, about half a cup of oil, half a tablespoon of turmeric, 1 tablespoon of mixed powder, 1 tablespoon of coriander powder, 1 tablespoon of cumin powder, and a teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder. So the method we're going to add this, first of all, we're just going to add, well, first I'll say my oil is a mixture. It's about 50-50 vegetable oil and ghee that I'd melted. I just mixed that together. I just added the vegetable oil to the ghee to keep it a bit, give it a bit of mobility so it's easier to get it on the chicken and get it mixed around. So I go ahead and add all of that to our chicken first. We want to give it a good mix around and make sure that all the chicken is coated. And since I'm doing a smaller batch than normal today, it looks like there's slightly too much ghee in here, but I'll maybe drain a little out so it doesn't ruin it. Okay guys, so I've drained off a little bit of the butter and now that looks a lot better. So next we're going to add all of the spices. Half a tablespoon of turmeric, 1 tablespoon mixed powder. We did promise you we'll give you a video on our mixed powder soon, and it will come. 1 tablespoon coriander powder, 1 tablespoon of cumin powder, and a teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder. And then we're just going to give this a good mix around. Get the chicken evenly coated. And this is the part the oil plays in the marinade. The oil is going to help all these spices stick to the chicken and stay on the chicken. So it's going to get deep inside the chicken and give you that lovely flavour. Okay, I think that's all well enough coated. Next we're going to add our garlic paste.
Daddy, I want to do that.
As you can hear, I've got a little helper here today who wants to help. Yeah, say hi, Faith.
Hi.
Faith is camera woman today. So same with your garlic, you want to mix that through nicely, get an even coating over all your chicken. I think that looks good.
You finished all of it. Daddy,
Yes?
you're gonna add the yogurt.
I know.
Yogurt.
So I'm washing my hands first, just wait. Just wait. Wait, sit up. Okay, so in the final step of this process is going to be add the yogurt. And this marinated in overnight, it's going to help tenderize the chicken. gently mix that through. Don't mix it too roughly here, because you want all your spices and your garlic and everything all to stay on the meat. So as long as it's sort of generally mixed, then I think we're okay. And I think that looks good. Now what I'm going to do with this now, I'm going to cover it and we're going to leave it overnight and we'll come back to you 24 hours later.
Hungry.
Okay guys, so it's been around 24 hours since we made our chicken marinade now. And that's ready. I've had this out of the fridge for maybe 4 hours to allow it to come up to room temperature before we start cooking. I'm now going to take you through the process I would use to cook this. Just let the oil get up to temperature. While we're waiting for the oil, I'll just bring you through what we have here for our spices. The spices I'm going to use here today, I've got 1 tablespoon of mixed powder, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin powder, a teaspoon of chili powder, and a teaspoon of turmeric. The turmeric we're using for flavour and a bit of colour. The chili powder, again just for a bit of flavour really, it shouldn't add much heat. And the main flavour is obviously going to come from the curry we're going to cook with this afterwards. Okay, so we're starting to get a bit of heat in our oil now. I'm going to add 2 bay leaves and maybe 3/4 inch of cassia bark, or cinnamon if you like. I can almost hear Ben shouting from next door already, telling me I'm doing this wrong and I've got too much cinnamon. I'm just going to give these a little bit of time to infuse. Once there's a chance to infuse, we're going to add half a small onion. I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit. You don't really want this to burn, you want to just soften it off. I'm just got a little sprinkle of salt just to help that release the liquids out the onions and help them soften off. I don't add too much salt here because obviously there's going to be salt in the dish we're preparing with this cooked chicken. And also I've used frozen chicken this time, which is sometimes frozen in a salt solution. So it might be slightly saltier than fresh chicken already. You see the salt there's helping the onions release the liquid. They're softening up nicely. I think our onions are soft enough. Next we're going to add 2 good tablespoons of ginger and garlic paste. I just want to cook this through, just cook off the varnish. Next we add our spices, as I said earlier, tablespoon of mixed powder, teaspoon of cumin, teaspoon of coriander, teaspoon of chili powder, and a teaspoon of turmeric. I'm just going to give these a good mix through. Cook off the rawness, but not burn them. Next, we're going to add a good tablespoon of tomato puree. Give it a good mix. What we're looking for next, we're looking for the oil to start separating out. Once the oil starts to separate, we know we should be good to add our chicken. You just see the oil starting to separate around the edges now. Next thing I want to do, I want to add my chicken marinated yesterday. This is just chicken breast we're using today. We're not going to worry about leaving some of the marinade in the dish because we've got enough of the flavours that we need in the pot here already. Now I'm going to turn back up the heat and we're going to add a little bit of water. Maybe 2 cups I've added there. Try and get all this off the sides, it's caramelised, and get it back into the sauce. Now obviously if you are making this you might want to make slightly more chicken than I've made, simply because I'm the only one in the household that really eats curry. So with Ben having COVID at the minute, he's not been here, I'm just making a smaller portion today because it's only going to be for me. Once you see it start to bubble, we're just going to turn the heat back down and we're going to let this simmer. Okay, so it's been simmering for around another further 12 minutes-ish. I think it should be sufficiently cooked now for what we require. It doesn't need to be fully cooked through, of course, because it's going to be cooked more in the final recipe when we cook it, but I'll just take a piece out and let you see. Lovely. Tasty, pre-cooked chicken, ready to go into our next curry. So, what I'm going to do with it next, I'm going to remove the bay leaves and the cassia bark. And I'm going to pot this up. I've now removed this from the heat, and all I'm doing here is get enough of this liquid to cover the chicken. I just believe that better preserves it and better locks in the moisture in the chicken so it doesn't dry out until you're ready to use it. Depending on what I'm making, maybe will or maybe won't, probably won't reuse this liquid. I'll probably strain the chicken out before I put it in my dish I'm going to be making, but as I said, this just helps keep your chicken moist until you're ready to use it. And I'm going to cover this. This can go straight in the fridge or the freezer. It should be okay in the fridge for 2 to 3 days. If they're going to be longer than that, then I would probably freeze it until you're ready to use it. But there we go. My 1-person batch pre-cooked chicken all ready to go for my next dish. I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm sure Ben's screaming at me next door saying I'm doing it all wrong, but we're going to have another one coming very shortly, making a bigger batch, showing you how to do that. And I think we're also going to do some pre-cooked lamb, I think. So we'll be showing you how to do that as well. And we'll probably use a different method next time for a chicken, show you a different way of doing it. There's a number of ways you can do this. There's no one way of doing it. I'd hardly seldom do it the same twice. So I hope you enjoyed watching. See you next time. Bye guys.